SPLM-IO reject the December election plan. On August 21st, 2026, a faction of the SPLM-IO rejected the government plan to hold a national election in December 22nd, 2026. The statement came from the faction associated with first by President Dr. Riek Machar. Well, according to this information, the group say the government is moving toward election without completing several important parts of the 2018 peace agreement. The opposition argues that the government is changing constitutional rules in order to make the December election possible. According to the SPLM-IO faction, this could weaken important protection that were included in the peace agreement. The group say that three major issues remain unresolved. First, there has not been a national census. Second, the country has not completed the process of adopting a permanent constitution. Third, important security arrangements under the peace agreement have not been fully implemented. The opposition therefore asks, how can South Sudan hold a credible national election when some of the basic conditions for that election have not been completed? That is the central argument being made by the SPLM-IO faction. To understand today's political disagreement, we need to go back to the peace agreement. South Sudan has spent years trying to end political and military conflict. The revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in South Sudan, commonly known as the R-Access, was signed in 2018. In that agreement, the agreement created a roadmap for a transitional period. The goal was to bring former enemies into one government, carried out reform, improve security, create political space, and eventually organize elections. A transitional unity government was formed in 2020, but many parts of the agreement have faced delay. Some reforms have moved slowly, some security arrangements remain difficult, and political disagreement between the parties have continued. Now, the government want the country to move toward election, but the SPLM-IO faction say the peace agreement must first be fully respected. This disagreement is at the heart of the current political crisis. One of the major disagreements concerned the conditions that were previously connected to the election process. The opposition said the government is removing important requirements instead of completing them. Parliament approved constitutional amendment in July this year that removed the census and permanent constitution as condition for holding election. The government said these changes help clear the way for the December vote, but the opposition sees the matter differently. It argued that changing the rule does not solve the country's political and security problem. Imagine a country where millions of people have been displaced. Imagine communities that have experienced fighting. Imagine citizens who may not have access to voting centers. Now ask, can everyone participate equally in an election? This is the concern raised by the opposition. The government, however, stated that they say the country cannot remain in transition forever. And that brings us to the government position. The ruling SPLM has strongly defended the election plan. According to this report, on August 21st, SPLM Secretary General Dr. Akol Paul Kodit says South Sudan should take ownership of its political affair. His message was directed. He said South Sudan should not be dictated by foreign government or international partner. According to Kodit, South Sudanese people must decide the country's political future. His comment followed a similar message from President Salva Kiir office. The presidency said international partners are welcome to support peace and development. But according to the presidency, supporting South Sudan does not mean foreign countries should decide South Sudan's political choices. The government therefore presents the election issue as a matter of national sovereignty. In simple terms, the government is saying South Sudan is an independent country and South Sudanese institutions should decide what happens next. This is an important part of the government argument. Dr. Akol Paul Kodi made one of the strongest statements during his remark at SPLM headquarters in Juba. He argued that the country must take responsibility for its own political affairs. His message was that South Sudan should not depend forever on outside actors to decide what happened inside the country. The government believes the 2018 peace agreement helped stop the civil war, but it does not want the peace agreement to become a permanent political arrangement. So Kodi argued that South Sudan should not remain a hostage to the peace agreement forever. And this is where the government and opposition argument collide. The government said we need to move forward. The opposition said we need to complete what was agreed before moving forward. Both sides are using the language of peace, but they disagree about the path to reach it. The SPLM-IO faction say the election cannot be separated from the security situation. According to the opposition, part of South Sudan remain affected by insecurity, fighting and displacement. The group say this could prevent large number of people from taking part in the election. This is not only about voting, it is also about whether political parties can campaign freely. Can opposition candidate travel safely? Can citizens attend political meetings? Can journalists report freely? Can people criticize political leaders without fear? Can displaced people participate? These questions matter in any election. The SPLM-IO say these conditions have not been properly established. It also accused government force of violating the cease and attacking opposition location. The government violated the ceasefire. The government has previously denied such accusation. So these remain competing claims from the political crisis or from the political side, and this is why the security situation is so important. Another major issue is the detention and trial of first by President Dr. Riek Machar. Dr. Machar is the leader of the main SPLM-IO movement. He was suspended and detained in March 26, 2025. He is now facing a special court in Juba over allegation connected to fighting in Nasser. His detention has had a major impact on the SPLM-IO. The movement has become divided. One faction is operating from Juba, another faction operates largely from outside the country and is associated with Oye Nathaniel Perino. This division has made the political situation even more complicated. The faction associated with Oye has rejected the government election plan, but another SPLM-IO faction led by Peace-Building Minister Stephen Parkour support the election process. The Juba-based faction is recognized by President Salva Kiir as a legitimate partner in implementing the peace agreement. This means that even inside the SPLM-IO there is disagreement. There is a disagreement over what should happen next. The SPLM-IO was originally an important part of the peace process. So, but Dr. Machar detention changed the political structure of the movement. Today they are competing position. One side support participation in election process. Another side say the election should not proceed under the current condition. This raises another important question: who represent the SPLM-IO? And perhaps more importantly, we will participate in the election on behalf of the opposition. A national election needs political competition. If major political groups are divided, excluded, or unable to campaign freely, question about the credibility of the election are likely to continue. This is why the disagreement inside the SPLM-IO is important. The disagreement is not limited to the government and SPLM-IO. Peace Monitor and other stakeholders have also raised concern. The reconstituted Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission, commonly known as RJMAC, has warned about change affecting the peace agreement. RJMAC has also raised concern about political and civic space, insecurity, displacement, and whether the election process will be inclusive. These concerns do not automatically mean election cannot happen, but they show that there are unresolved questions surrounding the process. The central issue is trust. Political parties need to trust the election rule. Citizens need to trust the voting process. Candidates need to trust that they can compete. And the public need to believe that their vote will matter. Without trust, even an election that takes place peacefully can face serious political question afterward. The government has one powerful argument. South Sudan has been in transition for a very long time. The country became independent in 2011, yet it has not held a national election since independence. President Salva Kiir Mayardit and members of parliament were last elected in 2010 before independence. Since then, political argument and transitional arrangement have repeatedly extended the process. The government said this cannot continue forever. At some point, the country must hold election. The government therefore present a December 2026 vote as a way to end the long transition. This argument may appeal to citizens who are tired of political delays. Many people simply want the country to move forward. They want stable institution, functioning government. They want security, job, school, and they want hospital. And they want an end to political uncertainty. But the opposition asks whether the election held without enough preparation can actually deliver these things. The SPLM-IO faction warned that election held outside the framework of the peace agreement may not produce a legitimate end to the transition. The group argued that the political and security conditions for a national election have not been established. It also accused the ruling SPLM of wanting to use election to remain in power. This is a serious political accusation. The government rejected the idea that elections are simply a plan to retain power, and instead it said elections are necessary because the transitional period cannot continue indefinitely. So we have two completely different interpretations here. The government sees election as the next step toward normal politics. The opposition sees election under a current condition as a possible threat to the peace process. For ordinary citizens, this political argument can sometimes sound distant, but the consequences are very real. When political leaders disagree, ordinary people can feel the impact. Families may become worried about security, business may delay the investment, young people may lose hope, displaced community may wonder whether they will be able to return home. Farmers may worry about reaching their land, and communities have already suffered from war may fear another cycle of violence. South Sudanese citizens have already paid a very high price for political conflict. This is why many people want political leaders to solve their disagreement peacefully. The question should not simply be who win the election. The big question is, can the country hold an election without returning to conflict? That is the question that should concern everyone. Well, the security question. The security is perhaps the biggest concern surrounding the planned election. The SPLM-IO say fighting and insecurity remain in different parts of the country. The group also claimed that its force control areas in parts of Equatoria, Upper Nile, Jonglei, and Unity. If political disagreement become worse, security tension could also increase. South Sudan has seen this pattern before. Political dispute can quickly become security dispute, and security dispute can become community conflict. That is why the political leader have a responsibility to avoid language that could encourage violence. Elections should create a peaceful way for citizens to choose leader. They should not become another reason for army group to mobilize. Another important question is participation. What happens if a major opposition faction refuses to participate? An election can still take place, but its legitimacy may be questioned. Supporters of the opposition could argue that the election does not represent the whole country. The government, on the other side, could argue that political group cannot block the country's future indefinitely. This is why dialogue remains important. And the best outcome would be for political leaders to find a way to reduce disagreement before the election date. A political solution is almost always cheaper than another war. Another major concern is political freedom. An election is not only about voting on election day. It began months before voting. Political parties need peace to organize. Candidates need to speak to citizens. Journalists need to report. And our civil society organizations need to operate. Citizens need to discuss political issues. People need to feel safe expressing their opinion. If political space is restricted, citizens may not be able to make informed choices. The opposition said political space remains limited. The government said it is moving toward election. This difference needs to be addressed if the election is to gain public confidence. Another major issue is the permanent constitution. South Sudan has operated under transitional constitutional arrangement for years. A permanent constitution is expected to provide a more stable legal foundation for the country. The opposition argued that this process should be completed before election. The government has moved to remove the permanent constitution as a condition for holding the vote. This creates another major debate. Should South Sudan first complete permanent constitution process, or should election come first and constitutional reform continue afterward? There is no simple answer, but whatever decision is made, it must be accepted by major political actors and the people. The government message about national ownership is also important. South Sudan has depended heavily on international partners for peace building, humanitarian support and development. International organizations and foreign government play a major role in the country peace process. The government said this support is welcome, but it does not want outside actor deciding South Sudan's political future. That is the meaning behind the message. Nobody should dictate to South Sudan. But international partners argued that supporting the peace agreement and raising concern about the election is part of their role. This creates a dictate balance. South Sudan wants sovereignty. International partners want to see the peace process protected. The challenge is finding a way for both positions to exist without creating another confrontation. The ruling SPLM remains the most powerful political organization in South Sudan. Its story goes back to the liberation struggle against Sudan. Dr. Akol Paul Kodit reminded supporters of that story during his recent remark. He praised the movement for mobilizing people during the army struggle. For the SPLM, the movement is closely connected to the story of independence. But today, South Sudan is different from the South Sudan of the liberation struggle. The country now needs strong institutions. It needs political competition. It needs accountable leadership. It needs peaceful transfer of power. And it needs citizens to believe that government belongs to everyone. The challenge for the SPLM is therefore not only winning election, it is also building confidence in the political system. The government say election will end the transitional period, but the opposition asks whether an election held under disputed conditions can really solve the political problem. This is a very important question. An election is not automatically a solution. If major political groups reject the process, the election could create another political dispute. If the security situation remains unstable, the election could be difficult to implement. If citizens are displaced, many may struggle to vote. If political space remains limited, opposition parties may struggle to compete. So the real challenge is not simply holding an election. The real challenge is holding an election that South Sudanese people can trust. Thank you for watching. Let's meet on the next video.